Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 with Pilot Chaz. It's my first ever full video, so give me some patience. Today I'm doing my first ever flight. I'm actually really a little bit nervous, but today we're flying from Exeter in South Devon to Manchester, UK. We're going to be using the full Beyond ATC tool and trying to learn as much lingo as possible before we go into VATSIM. Like, you want to go into VATSIM as comfortable as possible, knowing your call outs and your replies as best as possible, but also understand your aircraft's the main thing. So I've got over 100 hours in the campaign mode, career mode. I've done really well. I can land all the planes. I've nailed all the Airbuses and Boeings. However, it's completely different with the Phoenix. It's a lot more in-depth simulation, and today that's what we're going to be using is the Airbus A320 EasyJet. Our flight number today is EZ272. I've just logged the flight with SimBrief. I've just downloaded it on my wife's tablet, so we are ready to go. I've got the Navigraph subscription. I think it's one of the best tools you can get. It's only $9.99 a month. I've got my flight is now imported from SimBrief online. I've got my route. Obviously we're going full simulation mode, so there's no like guidelines on where you're going on the airport and the rest of it. So this has all the graphs for the airports that you're at, how to get from gate to runway, etc., etc. But also your SIDS and your stars, which we'll go into that in a moment. So it is a very big learning curve, doing full flight sim with ATC, with SimBrief, SIDS and stars. But I do have tutorial videos on that, but today it's our first flight together, so I won't go into how to use all of that, but just go through the checklist as we're doing them. So let's go. So here we are. We're going to start at EGT, which is Exeter. I've already set my plane up to start in cold and dark. We're going to go ramp, parking 3, medium, start flight. So just take notes of that. So I always use a piece of paper because it's piece of pen and paper. It's how my brain works. So I've written down my flight number, EZ272, and I'm at gate 3 at Exeter. So now Phoenix is just loading up. So we spawned underneath our gorgeous plane. I love using the 200th Airbus limited edition skin. I just think the plane looks absolutely stunning. And the detail of this Phoenix aircraft is just unreal. No one in the pushback truck today? Nope, it's just us. Right. So, first things we're going to do when you get into the Airbus, cold and dark to take off. First step you want to do is you want to turn on battery 1 and battery 2. So there's battery 1 on the overhead panel there, battery 2 right beside it. If you have external power, which we do, we saw the AP plugged in outside, you've got this external power button here. So if you click on that, we'll be using the external power. We then want to turn on the navigation and get it set up. So all you need to do here is turn IR1 to nav, IR2 to nav, and IR3 to nav. You then want to turn on your navigation and logo lights on. There we go. You want your seatbelt signs on, ready to go, which is just there. And the no smoking sign, let's turn him on as well. Now once we've got that initial setup going, we've got the batteries on now, we're using the external power, we've got the right lights on, we've got the IR1, 2 and 3 now setting up the GPS and navigation. So you can see that in our flight panel here. That will just start loading up, so it will say not available now, but that'll all soon start kicking in. As you can see on the right here, in the medium VFD, IR's in a line. It's going to take 7 minutes. That just gives us 7 minutes to get the flight plan imported and get the computer set up. So on your Phoenix tablet here, simply go to Phoenix, tap to import from SimBrief, and it will bring up the next flight closest. So yeah, EGTE to EGCC. So I've imported that. Then I'm going to go across to ground services. Now we want to go to mass and balance. So here you want to load your aircraft, and that's all the data from SimBrief as well. So we're going to go fast time 7 minutes, as that's how long the navigation is going to take. Or we can use, yeah, we'll just do fast time. Once you've done that, you'll hear in the background the plane's loading up, and then we're just going to click here, send to MCDU. So that's just sending all that flight data to the flight computer. So as the plane's loading with fuel and passengers and cargo, we're just going to sit out and wait for the IR to align. So I will come back to you in 7 minutes. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. We've still got a few minutes for IR to load, but we've now got to tune into ATIS and get our information code and all the data of the local airport. We're about 50% boarded. I haven't turned on the GSX boarding experience, but we'll do that on the next flight. So we're just going to get into the aircraft. Okay, so our aircraft is now loaded. We are 2 minutes away from IR line, so I'm just going to turn on Beyond ATC and get that running. Logging into Beyond ATC, downloading the flight plan.
Beyond ATC connected.
Right, so we're all connected. That's brilliant. So I'm just going to connect to ATIS very shortly.
Landing and departing runway 26, transition level 030. Advise on initial contact, you have information Tango.
So we're on information Tango.
Exeter Airport information Tango, 1016 Zulu. Surface wind 050 degrees, 5 knots. Variable between 340 degrees and 090 degrees. Ceiling and visibility okay. Temperature 23 degrees. Dew point 13 degrees. QNH 1019er. Landing and departing runway 26. Transition level 030. Advise on initial contact, you have information Tango.
1000 Zulu. Wind 0.
Exeter Airport information Tango.
So I've just listened to that ATIS report. We're on information Tango, so I've written that down on my notes. QNH is 1019, and we're taking off from runway 26. So in a moment I'm going to request IFR clearance, but I'm just going to update my QNH to 1019, do my pre-flight checks, and then we're ready to push back and start engines. Exeter Airport is quite small, so it doesn't have tower and ground services. It's all run through one channel, which is tower, and then Tracon is ground and departure, I believe. So right, let's just make sure everything's working okay. Got our parking brake on. Just now need to check the GPS is running. Yeah, we've got GPS connection. So our next step now is to import our flight data in our flight computer. So you want to go to initiate, and then here you got initiate request, and that will bring through our flight plan data into our flight computer. There you go. So you can see it's from Exeter to Manchester, so that's all working as it should be. And just to double check that, we'll just go to our flight plan down here and we can see all of our waypoints coming up here: Exmoor, Cardiff, Etna. So that's brilliant. So our flight plan is good. We then want to click on the performance button here. And then go back to our tablet, sorry. I can't remember the exact page. Oh, here we go. So on the second tab icon here of takeoff, it's got all of our weights on the plane. So we just want to click this button here, calculate. Oh, sorry. You want to click sync load sheet final because the plane's fully loaded. And then you want to click calculate. So that'll work out our V1 speeds. And then we want to click send to MCDU, which we've now done. And then as we go to performance here, we can see all of our V1 speeds. So we are all good on that front. So the V2, we want to be flaps 3. Okay, let's change the QNH to 1019, and then we'll make our initial contact with tower. So when we make our initial contact with tower, we want to say our flight number with information tango. We're parked at gate 3, ready for IFR clearance from Exeter to Manchester, runway 26. Exeter Tower, easy 272, gate 3 with information tango, requesting IFR clearance to Manchester via runway 26. Oh, no response. I wasn't connected to the tower channel. Really newbie mistake. Exeter Tower, easy 272, gate 3 with information tango, requesting IFR clearance from Exeter to Manchester via runway 26. Guys, and this is a this is a nice one for you. Really handy if you had your microphone on. Exeter 272. Oh, completely messed up then because I've just lost my plane foot.
Exeter Tower, easy 272, go ahead.
Exeter Tower, this is easy 272 at gate 3 with information tango, requesting IFR clearance to Manchester via runway 26. There we go.
Easy 272 Exeter Tower, cleared to Manchester, runway 26. After departure, radar vectors Exmoor, climb to flight level 060, squawk 3334.
Exeter Tower, cleared for IFR clearance via runway 26, via Exmoor, flight level 060, squawk 3334, easy 272.
Negative. After departure, radar vectors Exmoor, climb to flight level 060.
After departure, vectors Exmoor, flying to flight level 060, easy 272.
Easy 272, read back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Copy, easy 272. So, if you're new to this like I am there, so what Tower's just approved is we've got IFR clearance to Manchester via runway 26 at the airport, via the Exmoor vector. Now, the Exmoor vector on the flight plan, if you go back to the flight computer here, that's the next waypoint. So what he's basically said, go to runway 26, then fly to the initial climb of flight level 060 via Exmoor, and our squawk number is 3334. I'm going to quickly put our squawk number in now. Now that is done down here on this little compartment to the right of our throttle controls.
Two-way air and hashtag
So I'm just going to clear
52 and
the
hashtag
squawking at the
93.
moment. So it's 1, 2, 3,
6627. Exit runway when able.
4. And then I'm going to turn our transponder mode to TARA. And then I'm just going to switch our transponder to auto there. So that's our squawk all set up now. That's all ready to go. That's on auto. And we're on TARA. And then I'm going to go to our flight control unit here. I'm just going to change our altitude to what they asked us to do, which is flight level 060. So that's now on. We've now got the in-game air traffic control going off. I don't know why I thought I'd turn that off, but we'll move on. Our QNH is done already. That's on 1019. We've set our altitude, we've set our squawk, we've put it on auto, we've set our QNH. So now we're going to request pushback and engine start.
Two-way air and hashtag 91. 52 and hashtag 93. 6627. Exit runway when able.
That's the in-game ATC.
Two-way air and hashtag 91. 52 and hashtag 93. 6627. Contact ground on 119.805.
Exeter Tower, Easy 272, ready for pushback and engine start.
Easy 272, Exeter Tower, pushback approved. Face northeast.
Pushback approved, face northeast, Easy 272. So all you're doing, it's very overwhelming air traffic control conversations, but as you can see with how I do it and how my brain works, as I'm just simply writing it straight down what they're saying, and then all you do then is repeat what they've said to you back to the tower. It's as simple as that, and then you can start thinking about it and actioning it. So without further ado, let's get the engine spinning up. So we need to go to our middle flight panel here. We need to turn our master APU switch on. Wait a few seconds, and then directly underneath it you have APU starter. Now all we're doing now is we're waiting for this button we've just clicked. It says on, and shortly it will go to available, and then once it's done that, we can turn on the APU bleed and we can start the engine startup. As you can see on the engine control panel here under APU, we can see it spinning up, so we're currently at 44%. So the flaps open and the APU is now bleeding. Right, so APU is now available. So what I'm going to do now is request pushback before engine start. So I take my parking brake off. We are via our Phoenix control panel here. I'm going to ask ground services for pushback. So I've just turned on pushback there. And then click start pushback. As you can see, pushback vehicle is now coming into place. Someone's left the GPU on, naughty. Now I'm hoping the target knows that we're supposed to be facing northeast. No, so we'll have to turn the plane around. So whilst he's doing that, we're now going to start our engine. So we need to flip our engine mode into ignition start. Now I don't have a camera for our flight controls yet, but all I'm going to do is simply turn the engine mode into start mode. Which I'm not going to do because I've not turned on APU bleed yet. Which is this button here. And then, as you can see down here, I'm just going to flick this into engine mode start. And then we'll spin up our right engine by turning that into engine mode on. Let's put our parking brake back on. You can see on the engine information panel here, that right engine is now spinning up. And you can hear it as well. Guys, I'm so nervous. I don't know why. It's my first proper flight and my first proper flight streaming, so, or recording. Very nerve-wracking. Now, what I'm going to do now is, whilst that engine is spinning up...
All aircraft be advised, information uniform now current, QNH1019er.
So that's just air traffic control letting us know that QNH is now 1019er. Okay, so as I'm waiting for the engines to spin up, I'm just going to get up the airport map. So engine 1 has now spun up. I'm now going to turn on, sorry, that was engine 2, engine 1 on the left hand side. So on my flight control panel here, I've just flicked the engine on and it's in ignition mode, so that will start firing up now. I'm just going to get up the maps on the Navigraph charts app. I highly recommend again, so I know exactly where I'm going when they give us taxi instructions to the runway. So I've now got the full Exeter Airport chart up here. I can see where I am. I'm at gate 3.
Exeter ground,
so we'll be taking off from the northeast side.
52 and hashtag 93, 6627, taxi to parking.
So once our engine is ready to go...
2A air and hashtag 91, 52 and hashtag 93, 6627. Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Charlie 1 Charlie.
Control.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Charlie 1 Charlie, 2A air and hashtag 91, 52 and hashtag 93, 6627.
Okay, so now both engines have started. We are going to turn APU bleed off on the overhead panel, which is this one here. And we're going to turn off the APU master switch. We are then going to turn off ignition start mode to normal mode. Right, and then we need to go on our flight control panel here, and we need to make sure that the altitude is set for 6,000, which it is, flight level 060. We've got the flight director command bar on. We have ECAS RA on, which we do, and we have the transponder on auto. We're going to put our flaps into position 1, and then we're going to request now taxi to runway 26, and I've got my chart, as we know, ready to go for the next stage. So here we go. Exeter Tower, easy 272, ready to taxi to runway 26.
Easy 272, taxi via Charlie, hold short of runway 26.
Exeter Tower, taxi to runway 26 via Charlie, hold at runway 26, easy 272. So we've been told to go via taxiway Charlie and hold at runway 26. So on the chart, that means we're going to turn around now, follow the taxi path, and we have to wait at the runway to then cross the runway. So parking brake off, and let's spill the engines a little bit and get some movement in the plane. Luckily there's no aircraft around. Ooh. So I've got VATSIM traffic turned on, so that's why you can see a random plane there, which is rather quite funny. So someone has truly messed up there. Let's just get ourselves on the taxi yellow line. Oh dear, someone's made a big doozy there. Oh dear. If someone crashed their plane, bless them guys, it happens, but in simulators you want to be just doing the best you can. A lovely new Boeing by the looks of it. Oh dear, bless them. So this is our holding line here that we're coming up to, so he said to hold short runway 26. So
Easy 272 via Charlie 1, cross runway 26, taxi to holding point Foxtrot, runway 26 via Charlie, Echo 1, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
cross runway to taxi to runway 26, easy 272.
Negative, taxi via Charlie, Echo 1, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Taxi via Echo 1, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, easy 272.
Negative, taxi via Charlie, Echo 1, Foxtrot, Foxtrot.
Apologies, taxi via Charlie 1, Charlie, Echo 1, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, easy 272. So he was just giving us a command then to cross the runway, which we did, and then turn right onto the Foxtrot channel, which we have, then to the next Foxtrot channel, which we have, and then to runway 26. So here we are. And look how stunning the model is. I mean, amazing work from the guys at Phoenix. I think the runway has not been designed fully. As you can see, it's a small regional airport, so why would Microsoft put the time into it? But I'm looking at getting the expansion for Exeter Airport, if there is one. There was on the previous iterations of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So So we just hold here to slightly apply the brakes. And we're just going to let tower know we're ready at runway 26, ready for takeoff. Exeter Tower, easy 272, ready for takeoff.
Easy 272, backtrack runway 26. Call when ready for departure.
Easy 272, ready for departure.
Easy 272, negative, backtrack runway 26.
Easy 272, backtrack runway 26. I think that's because we've gone too far forward. Exeter Tower, holding at runway 26, easy 272.
Easy 272, Exeter Tower, wind variable 4 knots, fly runway heading, runway 26, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, easy 272. So,
No, easy 272, cleared for takeoff, runway 26.
cleared for takeoff, runway 26, easy 272. I did say there's going to be a learning curve, guys. I have no idea most of the time what I'm doing. This is what I learned last weekend, so this is why you're following Pilot Chaz for the fun and games. So I think because we did say we were holding ready at the runway and said we're ready for takeoff, Howard got confused. This is why I've decided to use Beyond ATC before jumping on VATSIM. I just want to at least get the processes and format in my head ready before jumping into a full simulation like that. So all I'm going to do now is get this beautiful Airbus lined up with the runway and get ready for takeoff. Now we just need to put in the flight computer. Our takeoff plan. So our departure is runway 26. We have no SID. And then we just insert there, that's our takeoff procedure. So all we're going to do now is get ready for takeoff. So cabin check, let's get the landing lights on, ready to go. Okay, let's go, let's gear up this throttle. Gear up.
Easy 272, contact Exeter departure 128.908.
Contact Exeter departure 128.8.
Negative, Exeter departure on 128.908.
Contact Exeter departure on 128.908, easy 272. So I've just turned the autopilot on. I've just told the flight computer to direct us there as well, to Exmoor, which is our next waypoint. Let's turn. So our plane is now nicely climbing to 6,000 feet. We are correcting the plane to Exmoor, which is our departure vector, if you remember right. And once I'm happy with everything, so our flight level climbing to 060. Our QNH is correct. Our flight plan is working. We inputted the departure vector correctly. So now I'm just going to reach out to Exeter departure and let them know that we are with them. Exeter departure, easy 272 with you, flight level 040, climbing to 060. Just going to lower our speed here and turn auto throttle on. I've got to do that. We're speeding too much here. We're doing over 300 knots. I'm just going to lower that to 240, which is the speed limit after departure. It's a learning curve, guys. There's so much you have to remember. Yes, I know, speeding. So the plane's going to level us out a bit more and slow us down whilst flying to our waypoint. There we go. Exeter departure, radio check.
Aircraft calling for radio check, reading you loud and clear.
Exeter tower, easy 272 with you.
Easy 272, Exeter departure. Identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, easy 272. So we just had command to increase our altitude.
Easy 272, cleared direct Exmoor. Resume own navigation.
Cleared to Exmoor, resume own navigation, easy 272. So that's departure just letting us know that we can now fly our planned flight path, which is now what we're going to do. Let's just turn on our vertical speed. So now we're going to climb to flight level 100, which is 10,000 feet. So that's the second time ever I've only taken off, by the way, from a cold start with full ATC, with beyond ATC. This is why I wanted to set up the channel so you guys can learn with me. A couple mistakes there. As we got to the runway, we didn't tell them we were holding at the runway ready to go. This was the second time round. But they corrected us, we got ourselves sorted and we took off. We had a warning as we were taking off that the flaps weren't in takeoff position, but it said to put it into flap position 1, which is what we had it in, but apparently that was wrong. So that's something we'll look at after the flight.
Easy 272, contact London Control 118.775.
Contact London Control on 118.775. So we now need to contact London Control and they'll give us our next set of instructions on ATC. London Control, easy 272, flight level 080, flying to 100 with you.
Easy 272, London Control identified, climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, easy 272. So we've just got our next set of instructions to fly to 19,000 feet. So all I'm going to do there is I've just updated that information on our flight panel. I've accidentally just clicked something there. Oh well. So we're now asking the plane to fly to flight level 190, which is 19,000. We've got the vertical speed, which is how fast it goes up or down at plus 1600. We've got the right QNH set up. Everything else is on managed, so the plane is using the flight management computer to take us to where we're going. And we've set the speed limit to 250 knots. We're nicely climbing to 19,000 feet. And as you can see on our flight control panels here, we are hitting our vector targets. So we've just hit Exmoor. The next one is Carwee, which I'm assuming is Cardiff. And then we'll just follow that flight plan that SimBrief designed for us.
4762. You are 2,800 above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain 2,000 QNH 1019er. Easy 2716 contact Bristol approach on 1 tree 6.08. Good day.
Oh, do love lime and soda. So, needs to calm down a bit now. Our plane is now taking control of itself. We've did all the right procedures, so we set the plane up, we warmed the plane up, we started the plane, we've done the pushback correct. I mean, pushback is the wrong way. On the Phoenix tablet, you can tell it where to take you, or which way to spin you as it's pushing you back. I'm going to look into this GSX extension, which I believe is the ground services, loading the plane, etc. So I'll be looking into that after this flight. We then proceeded to the runway as requested, where unfortunately we saw that plane crash, bless them. If you're very new to the game, I wouldn't go straight into full simulation with VATSIM, as this was VATSIM traffic, because there's so much you've got to learn, such as not only starting the plane and the right procedures to start the plane, but as we saw earlier, it's very overwhelming with what's going on with air traffic control, telling you what to do whilst you're also trying to manage the plane, lower your throttle, whilst managing your flight control unit, whilst redirecting the plane back onto its right trajectory and back onto the flight plan. So there's a lot going on. As you saw today, we are very not smooth at this. It's only my second time, but I'm really proud of ourselves. We're up in the air, guys. We're flying lovely. We're climbing up to flight level 190 with a nice 1600 vertical increase. We're at 250 knots, so that's pretty good. Oh, now that we're above 10,000 feet, we can increase our speed. So I'm just going to increase that to around 290.
Delta 79er, descend and maintain 2,000.
I'm going to look into the flight sim air traffic control, because I did turn that off, but for some reason it's still turning on. On my tablet now, I'm going to just turn off the charts, so I don't need to see the runway charts, and then I'm just going to see where we are on our flight plan. So as I've got the premium Navigraph package, I can track where I am and where I'm going as well, so that's where we currently are in our flight plan. And it's amazing how the tablet is linked to the server that's then linked to our plane. When I was doing flight sim in 2002, 2004, this was unheard of. Like, this is crazy. So yeah, as you can see, we've flown over Carwee, and now we're smashing through towards Etna, Tigwee, Ascall, Deezim, and Kitwee. And my first officers have just come in the room. Hank and Twiglet. Right. So we've got about 15 minutes of cruising now before things start getting a little bit spicy, and this is when Manchester's a very busy airport, so a lot of information will be passed to us on next steps and waypoints. The last time I tried to fly to Manchester, I had to do 2 go-arounds, and then it didn't end well in the end either, because it gets a little bit complicated with the flight listening to commands of air traffic control, but then you've also got to put in your descent plan with the flight management computer. So when you're landing into Manchester, telling them which star approach you're taking, which is the approach into the airport. So normally when you're coming into an airport to land, air traffic control will be like, look, this is you're cleared to land, this is your star approach. You put that into your flight management computer and the plane will pretty much land the plane itself for you up until the last minute, which is when you take over. Now, the last time I flew to Manchester, they didn't give us the star approach. We were manually vectored in, which is common with really busy airports such as Manchester. So if that happens again, we have to be quick on the mark, change our headings manually to what they are asking us to do. And then getting ourselves ready with the approach mode, localizer and LS buttons on the flight control unit, which I really struggled with last time. We didn't connect to the localizer. I tried to manually land the plane twice and then had to do 2 emergency go-arounds, and on the 3rd attempt, unfortunately, wasn't too great. So this is the whole point of Pilot Chaz. We're learning the hard way. Let's do it together and see how we get on. Everything's all running smoothly for now. My flight officer is just chilling, having a look out the window. We're flying over the beautiful South Wales at the moment and the Brecon Beacons. Flight simulators have come such a long way now. It's unbelievable. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you for 10 minutes and we'll come back ready once we get the instructions for landing. So I'll be with you in 10. Easy 272, ready for descent.
Easy 272, descend to flight level 090. Expect runway 23 right.
Descent flight level 090, expect runway 23 right, easy 272. So guys, welcome back. We've just got asked if we're ready for descent, which we are, and just been given our instructions to descend flight level 090, which we're now doing, and I'm now just telling the plane to enact that command. So we're expected to land runway 23 right. So we're now descending from flight level 109, which is 19,000 feet, down to flight level 090, which is 9,000 feet. It only took 5 minutes from when we last spoke to now, so that was a quick flight actually. Just checking on the map now, we're now heading down into our departure, our arrival, descent and flight plan. So that was very quick indeed. For me that would be an 8-hour drive in real life, and that was a 20-minute flight. It's crazy. So we're descending at 1700 VS, as you can see over here. The numbers there. We only had a little bit of turbulence whilst we were away, but it was nothing too major, and it's all good. Descending, getting ourselves ready for descent. I'm just going to have my checklist over our next steps as I'm trying to be VAT sim ready. So we've been told to descend to flight level 090 and expect runway 23R at Manchester. That's all good. Now what they'll do is they'll give us the runway star and ILS. When we get that information, we have to turn on the LS and approach mode on the flight control unit. and get ourselves set up. So we've just got a master caution come up. Engine mode is on normal, so I don't know what that warning's for. So we'll just clear that warning. So yeah, we will wait for the information from air traffic control on our next steps. Just going to speed up our descent a little bit as we're coming up to Monty, which is our start of our arrival approach.
Easy 272, descend to 5,000 feet, QNH 1021.
Descend to 5,000 feet, easy 272.
Negative QNH 1021.
QNH 1021, easy 272. But she just told us a new QNH then, which I missed in that communication. I'm just going to tell the plane to drop to 5,000 feet and speed up that descent because we've got to get down quite fast. At the moment we're currently at 11,200 feet, as you can see on this flight PFD, and we're dropping down to 5,000.
Easy 272, leave Monty heading 049er, direct Manchester Airport.
So guys, what we talked about earlier, we're not going to have the easy approach, we're going to be doing it manually. Leave Monty on heading 049er, easy 272. So when we come
Easy 272, contact Manchester Director 121.355.
Contact Manchester Director on 121.355, easy 272. So we're now having to come out of Monty on a heading of 049. And this is where it gets all serious, guys. This is where I bottled it last time. So we'll get that heading ready to go after we leave Monty, which isn't yet. So I'm just going to get us up on Navigraph charts to see exactly where we are. So we're literally just about to pass over Monty. Let's turn this heading to 049. So that's the plane now descending and changing heading to 049 as directed, as we're descending to 5,000. Now we need to contact Manchester Director on 121.355. Manchester approach, easy 272, flight level 06, heading for 05 with you.
Easy 272 Manchester Director, information Gulf current, QNH 1021, expect radar vectors, for ILS approach runway 23 right.
QNH 1021, expect ILS vectors for runway 23R, easy 272. Oh,
easy 272, turn right heading 055.
Turn right heading 055, easy 272. There you go, guys, we are on approach. Okay, so now we know we're going on ILS to runway 23R. We now need to get ourselves set up for landing.
Easy 272, descend to 4,000 feet, vectors for the approach.
Descend to 4,000 feet, vectors for approach, easy 272. So now we've got to descend to 4,000. With the dog barking in the background, there's a bit of added pressure to it. Hey guys, come on, it's enough.
Easy 272, 39 miles from Seaf 2 R. Fly present heading. Maintain 3,500 feet until established. Cleared ILS approach runway. 23 right.
Descend and maintain 3,500 runway, ILS runway 23 R, easy 272.
Easy 272, 39 miles from Kiev 2 R. Fly present heading. Maintain 3,500 feet until established. Cleared ILS approach runway 23 right.
Clear ILS approach runway 23 R, easy 272.
Negative, maintain 3,500 feet.
Maintain 3,500 feet, easy 272. Okay, so I've clicked the approach button. Which doesn't seem to do anything. So we'll wait, I guess. We'll maintain this altitude. We're only 39 miles away though. We're going to slow the plane down as well to about 240 knots. So once the GS on this PFD on the top left turns green, the aircraft will begin to descend on the glider scope automatically.
Easy 272, contact Manchester Tower 118.63.
Contact Manchester Tower 118.63, easy 272. Manchester Tower, easy 272, flight level 320 with you.
Easy 272, Manchester Tower, wind variable, 3 knots. Runway 23 right, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 23 R, easy 272. So we've now been cleared to land. As you can see, the runway's on the left over there. landing gear down, flaps down to 2. We're probably going to have to go around on this one, guys, so I keep being told that on approach mode it will be picked up on the localizer and the plane will automatically descend to where we need to be to land, but every flight I've done on air traffic control, that's been missed. So as with the last 2 flights, we're going to have to manually do this landing. So our landing gear is now down. We are at 3,000, dropping to... Well, so we're definitely going to miss this. We didn't get picked up on the localizers or the kaleidoscope, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the flaps to position 1. I'm going to fly the heading of the runway. I'm going to increase the throttle so we don't lose too much speed, and I'm going to let tower know we're going to have to do a go around. As you can see, we didn't get picked up on the localizer, ready for the automatic. So that's the engines kicking in. I'm just going to let the tower know what we're doing. Tower easy 272, we had to go around.
Easy 272, roger. Fly runway centerline, maintain 3,500 feet.
Fly runway centerline, climb and maintain 3,500 feet.
Easy 272, contact Manchester Director 121.355. Talk to you in a bit.
Contact Manchester Tower, easy 272.
Negative, Manchester Director on 121.355.
Contact Manchester Director on 121.355. Landing gear up, flaps down to 0, autopilot on. Maintain heading and maintain altitude. Right, so we have to do a go around then, guys. Landing gear's back up. Landing gear's back up. We're now back on autopilot. We're climbing to 3,500 feet. And we're on the runway heading as they requested. We're now going to contact Manchester Tower on 121.355 to just let them know we have to do a go around. Manchester Tower, easy 272, climb to flight level 350 with 035 with you.
Easy 272, welcome back. Continue.
Continue, easy 272. So now we just got to wait for Tower to put us back into landing control, and I'm just going to jump on chat and find out what we missed and on landing. Okay, so apparently it's because we were never picked up on the localizer and my approach button didn't turn on, so that may have had something to do with it. So we're just going to wait to hear from Manchester Tower, and then we're going to come back round and try that landing again. Yeah, so we're now flying over the beautiful scenery of Manchester. A bit of turbulence, a bit of poor weather by lots of things up here. Hopefully we'll get our commands to realign and attempt that landing again. bit dodgy weather, so I'm just going to put our speed to 260 knots to give us a bit of that leeway. Okay, so hit a bit of turbulence, as you can see here. So, the approach button didn't turn on, so I'm just going to ask why it didn't turn on. Okay, so what we missed there, guys, was the landing. On arrival, we had to put in the information on where we were landing. Here we go. I didn't put in our ILS 23R was our runway with no star. So our plane couldn't automatically put us into that landing approach, so that's why the approach button wouldn't turn on and the plane didn't take over that approach. So we now put that approach in the flight computer, and hopefully that will right, so now the flight computer knows that we're landing ILS 23R, that was what we were given. When you click that approach button, the plane will then kick in and start connecting with the localizer, lowering the plane to the airport, and then we get ourselves set up ready to go for that landing. Right at the end, the autopilot turns off, and then we land the plane. So it's our fault, as you know, pilot Chaz is all about learning, that for our next landing we will definitely put the plane into approach mode. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. It's our first flight to Manchester. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video of the landing, because I've got to shoot for a social event now. So I'm going to pause this, but hey, we haven't crashed, that's the main thing. So it'll be episode 1.5, the landing. Thank you so much for watching today, it means a lot. I hope you learned a lot today. We'll have a bit of a debrief later on how we can do better, but I think I've done quite well with the pressures of flight control, doing an emergency go around again, and then now we know how to land properly. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I apologise for my flight officers for their barking earlier, but hey, they're cute, and I will speak to you all very soon. Thank you.